is Virat Kohli now the greatest ODI player of all time?
I think...
Run-wise, he still has a fair distance to go. But remember, Tendulkar played 160, 170 more games.
I think you could easily discuss that along those lines for sure. Yeah, now he's got the record of hundreds. I think that you'd be forgiven for thinking that for sure. And you wouldn't be alone. There'd be a lot of people who would agree with you, with good reason. So, yeah, he's right up there, man. Whether he's better or not, he's that high up, you know, that how do you differentiate?
But then, the great man would have loved seeing, this is the boy who grew up idolizing him.
Yeah.
For him to see it happen, he almost got close in that other game against Sri Lanka. He was there, got 80 something odd as well. But for Tendulkar to be there as well, he must be feeling so proud. Proud of the Indian win, yes, but to see his record broken by an Indian
very
batter.
humble man, you know, like he's very, you could see he was genuine in his words of congratulations, and you know, it was just what you expect of Tendulkar.
What did he say last time? He said it took me 365 days to get from 49 to 50.
Yeah.
But I hope it takes you just about the next 10 days and you win the World Cup for India as well.
Yeah.
That matters most, right? Win the World Cup. Ultimately, great world record, clap, but India there to win the World Cup. And he needs one more big innings.
And he carried Tendulkar on the shoulder, right?
Yes.
So he may be carried as well, you never know.
No, there's Rohit Sharma as well.
Yeah, both of them.
And Shami, we need to carry, someone needs to carry Shami as well. He's sensational.
Heavy. Yeah, he's a heavy man.
Let's look at the graphics. We actually went and looked in detail because a lot of people were saying India has this jinx, you know, India are chokers. And we went and looked at all those games. India had not won a ICC tournament since the 2013 Champions Trophy. We all know that all too well. But then we went and started looking at the 2015 World Cup semi-final, the 2017 ICC Champions Trophy final. Both times India asked to chase over 300. 2019 World Cup, it was New Zealand 240 to chase. And then there was the T20 World Cup semi-final last year against England. And it all came down to the top order. Let's bring up that graphic, because that graphic can now be contrasted with this performance that we have seen. That graphic says a lot. We have it here, India's top order failure. And if you can bring that graphics up, we'll show how the Rohit Sharmas of the world, the Shikhar Dhawans of the world, who was playing back then, the Virat Kohlis of the world, they were not being able to sort of break the shackles when it came to these crunch games. Oh boy, how did they break those shackles today? Okay, here we go. 2015 World Cup semi-final. This is against Australia in Sydney. Rohit 34, Shikhar 45, Virat 1, Ajinkya Rahane 44. India lost by 95 runs, chasing 330 odd. Champions Trophy final, Pakistan not expected to win. Fakhar Zaman scores a Fakhar Zaman type 100. In reply, India sort of crumble. Rohit Sharma for a duck, Shikhar Dhawan 21, Kohli 5, Yuvraj Singh 22. India losing by 180 runs, that too at the end. Got respectable in a sense because Pandya scored some runs. Let's look at the next one. And this is the 29. There's a pattern emerging. 2019, Rahul 1, Rohit 1, Virat 1, Rishabh Pant 32 in a 240 chase. If one of those had even got a 40-50, that would have put the pressure back on New Zealand.
Yeah.
And then the T20 World Cup semi-final last year, where England won by 10 wickets in Adelaide. Rahul 5, Rohit 27. India were batting first here, Virat 50, but it was a very scratchy 50. He wasn't allowed to sort of explode. And Surya Kumar 14. India lost to England by 10 wickets. Now, I'm trying to contrast this with what we saw today, the top order.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite clear with looking at those figures.
Would you say the law of averages has finally evened out, that the top order was due to sort of, you know, get a good game some other day? Well, it happened at the best possible stage.
It would be very useful if the top order got some runs, and you know, that's the reason why India didn't win those games. But in this particular World Cup, the top order's been firing. So it is in huge contrast as what we're seeing. So it makes perfect sense that the team lost because they weren't able to give us the big scores, the scores that we're seeing here in this World Cup. Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't the only record the Kohli 100. He also went past the great Tendulkar's record. Not a good day to be a Tendulkar fan. Went past his record for most runs scored in a World Cup.
In a World Cup, yeah.
We've got the most runs of the World Cup in this tournament also. We're going to bring that up. We're going to discuss where Kohli is, because he did sort of halfway there after 4 or 5 matches. He wasn't there in that, and slowly started getting those big knocks, came up. And initially Rohit Sharma was up there, Rizwan was up there, Conway was up there. But it's a long tournament and things start to change. 711 runs. The record was 673 for Tendulkar. There's one match to go for Kohli as well. This shows that it's over 10 games. If you just average it out just like that, it's already, what, 70 per game?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's one of the reasons why the team's doing well. He's not alone. He's got a couple of mates that are doing well also. So,
but Dav, just explain this to me. You have players who go on a purple patch, right? But this has also been very workmanlike. What does it take out of a player? What does a player tell himself, build himself or herself up to consistently be there, that I will score these runs, I will score big runs?
Well, I'm not sure you can say I will do it, but what you can say is I'm going to concentrate and focus every ball, and it's one decision per ball, and every game is different. So the challenge is, after making a big score, is to start the next game when you walk out and you take your guard, that you're on naught. So you have to redo all those processes every time you start a match. And sometimes it's not, you fall into the trap of thinking, oh, this is easy. I've got 200s now. Shreyas Iyer is going to have that challenge next game. 2 games now, he's got hundreds. So his challenge is to actually, have a clear feeling of, I'm on naught. I am not, you're only as good as your last score. And if you fail, then people will remember you for that. So, it's a matter of erasing all the previous things and focusing on the job at hand. And you break it down to even the smallest thing of one ball, one decision. You make a correct decision, if you make 100 of those, I'll guarantee you'll make runs.
And that's what Kohli has done very well, hasn't he? The way he approaches a one-day innings. We've seen great players. We saw that list of great players on that list. But the way Kohli approaches a one-day innings is very different from what we've seen in the past with, say, a Jayasuriya, a Ponting. I would get Aravinda De Silva, who you've coached there as well, or Inzamam ul Haq. They're greats of cricket who've played. But Kohli has sort of, I know it's a different era, but the way he approaches, he's not slam bang. It's about building in phases. You assess the conditions, which he does very well, and then you sort of, once you're there and you can convert it to a big one, he does it. And then contrast it with the way he does it in a run chase. This is a player who can score 180, that's his highest score, and he can chase down, sort of helps India chase down 360 with ease.
Well, to me, the beauty about him is he's worked on improving his range of scoring areas, because when he first came in, most of us knew that he was very strong on the leg side. Some straight shots, okay, but nothing, or very, very little on the offside. But he's got the real willpower and the dedication to improve those range of scoring areas, and he's now included that shot through the offside on the front foot and back foot, and his pull shot, even though he got out once or twice, it still yields him a fair bit of runs as well. So his ability to score around the wicket has improved from where he first started, and that's the steeliness of him. He's also extremely fit, which means he can run up and down many times. 2s and 3s, and he has to run the same for his partner too. So all those things put together, he's just a very, I wouldn't say man-made, but he's had to work really hard himself to get to this level.